Hello everyone, Milky Way Matthew here. Welcome back to the vlog. It's Thursday, December 24th. It's Christmas Eve. It's not nighttime. I'm not by my Christmas tree. What's happening? Let me tell you. I've got oranges. So, I decided that I wanted to make like a Christmas treat that I wanted, and I decided I wanted to make chocolate covered candied oranges. So that's what I'm working on right now. I've got my Christmas music playing. I'm in the kitchen. It's approximately 8:30 a.m. I've been up for an hour and a half. I talked to my mom on the phone, opened a couple gifts from various people, including my mom. I talked to her for a while, and actually my tummy's growling. I'm kind of hungry. I'm still in my PJs. And I'm going to make chocolate covered oranges. So I've got this pan here. I'm going to turn the heat on. It's got, I'm kind of doing a variation off of a recipe that someone shared with me. So in this big pan, I've got 6 cups of water, 2 cups of sugar, and probably about half a cup, 3/4 cup honey. And so I'm going to bring that to a boil. I've got 5 oranges here. I might only use 4, I don't know, we'll see. I'm going to slice those up, and then I didn't realize this. I should have done that yesterday. I should have done the oranges yesterday because they're supposed to sit for 24 hours and dry before you put chocolate on them. So I don't know if I can get away with now doing that, or maybe I'll have to just cover them in chocolate tomorrow on Christmas, but I don't really want to. I want them for today, so we'll see. I got this for chocolates. So milk chocolate, Ghirardelli, melting chips, and dark chocolate. So my plan is to do half and half. And then also, I'm going to use French onion soup. No, I'm just kidding. I am, but that's for something else. I also am going to be making green bean casserole for Christmas dinner. So, but I decided I wanted to try something different for green bean casserole. So, I'm going to be using French onion soup and heavy whipping cream to make a rich sauce that the beans will bake in. So, and that's just something I'm making up. So I have no idea. It might be gross. It won't be gross. There's no way. I need my knife. So this is a knife. It's a very sharp knife. This is a knife that Poffology gave me for my birthday a couple years ago. And a funny story about this is he sent it to my house. I opened it up. I was FaceTiming him. And I was like, I'm nervous because it's so sharp. And he said, Matthew, it's so much more dangerous to use a dull knife than a sharp one. And in that very moment, I cut my finger. So, like, only time will tell. So I'm going to feel which ones of these are really... This one's really, really soft. And I'm going to be honest, I've never done this before. But I'm very excited because I love orange and I love chocolate, and I don't know if I've really ever had a chocolate covered orange. Oh my goodness, how pretty is that? It smells so good. So yeah, I'm just gonna be, and these are Cara oranges. I know a guy who used to run the produce department at Jewel Osco's. He worked at like seven different stores, and they sent him to like places that needed to improve. And he said Cara oranges are the best. I've never had one before, but look how gorgeous that is. Can you even see? Yeah. Oh, look at that. That's beautiful. So that's going to be candied in this. Where did my spoon go that I was stirring it with? Oh, I was using this fork to try to dissolve the sugar. Oh, it's smelling really good. I kind of regret the honey. The honey scent is really strong, but I don't think that'll overpower the... I'm thinking... I used only like 1/4 of the amount of sugar. I was supposed to use a lot more sugar. I think I'm going to put in another cup of sugar. Because I only used 2 cups, and it called... You're supposed to use equal parts water, sugar. I didn't want it to be overly sweet, but now I'm kind of regretting that. So I'm going to put in 1 more cup of sugar. Ah! What if I dropped this whole thing in there? That would be so bad. Okay, Okay, so now it has half the amount of sugar that it's supposed to have. Oops. Welcome to my kitchen. So yeah, Merry Christmas Eve, everybody. What are you doing today? Hope you're well. I hope you're healthy. Hope you're safe. Yeah, I won't be with any family today. I'm just going to be with my friends here in my neighborhood. Keeping it simple, keeping it safe. But we're going to make a big dinner with turkey. That's a really thick one. That might be too thick, but I don't think I can cut that anymore. We're going to make a turkey and what else? We're having turkey and dressing, and I'm going to make mashed potatoes later at their house. I'm making green bean casserole. We're going to have candied sweet potatoes, gravy. They make amazing gravy, so I'm pumped for that. These oranges smell so good, and they're beautiful. You know, that's crazy. Like, it's crazy that we can just go buy oranges in the middle of winter. I'm sure that's actually probably just so bad for the planet, but they smell good. Look at that. Look at that. Isn't that beautiful? That's beautiful. So right now, I think I got Johnny Swim on. I like Johnny Swim's Christmas album, but this is actually my playlist from 2019. Every year I make a new Christmas playlist, and this year I think my playlist was okay. And I do that. Okay. So I will always try to like find what Christmas albums have come out, and I try to listen to as many of them as I can. And so I try to like listen to Christmas music that I haven't heard before, and then I'll just make a big playlist with all of that. And last year I had the idea, instead of like looking for albums that have recently come out, to go back and like find Christmas albums that I had never heard before, and I found some gems. So my 2019 playlist has one of my favorite finds was a 98 Degrees Christmas album, which I don't know them, but they're like a 90s boy band, and their Christmas album is amazing. So if you've never listened to that, if you like Christmas music, and if you're a 90s kid, or if you just remember 90s music, the sound of it, I feel like if you like Backstreet Boys, or even if you just like could understand how that sound would be nostalgic, it's great. And it's genuinely it's a good album. So highly recommend. So I think I'm gonna do at least 2 more oranges. Which one's this one? Is soft. So yeah, but it's got so I got a big playlist going. I think it's like, I don't know, it might be like something ridiculous, like 20 hours long or something like that. So yeah, that's that. Oh, what else? Oh, I do have I've got my little notebook right here. Remember I showed you this? So I've got notes from what I did throughout the week and things that I wanted to share with you. So before this video ends, I will share that. Yeah. What else? What else? What else? What else? So last Thursday, the video that I made was with Poffology. We did a Zoom hangout and recorded it, and it was a lot of fun. And yeah, so I just appreciated that. I'll probably call him after I get done with y'all, see what he's up to today, how he's making merry today. These are just gorgeous. Okay, so the recipe that I was given called for blood oranges, which I don't know where you can. Oh, okay, it smells so good. It's almost like a mix. It smells like a mix between You know what it smells like? It's like a sweet grapefruit. So, the recipe I was given called for blood oranges, and that's what I wanted, but I couldn't find them. So I found these carrot oranges. Like, oh, I'll try that. But these kind of look more like a blood orange, like they're more red. I wish you could see. Oh my goodness, I have to try to show you this. I'm gonna move the camera, which means I have to unplug. Which so sorry. I'm gonna point you out my window, and hold this up and see. Do you see that? Do you see what I'm seeing? Isn't that gorgeous? Look at that. That's so pretty. So, you see my mistletoe hanging there? Isn't that cute? Do you put up mistletoe? Comment down below, let me know. Do you put up mistletoe? I don't actually expect anyone to kiss under it. That's just the mistletoe that we had in my house growing up, and so every year I like putting it up. One year I did kiss someone under it. That was cute. It was fun. It was my friend. It was a party. Things got carried away. Just kidding. It was innocent. It was beautiful though. What else? Let's see. Oh, so that mistletoe was always hanging. This is kind of funny. We always hung that mistletoe at our house in this like archway that you had to walk through to get from like our entry room into the dining room, which was the first room you walked into. So like you had to walk under it, which is really whimsical and cute, I think. It's not, obviously it's not real. It's just this ball of, sometimes the little like white things fall out of it. Okay, so when that starts to boil, I'm gonna add in this pile of oranges. Okay, I'm gonna turn it up to high, see if we can get things going. Okay, let's see what's first on my list. Oh, so first thing on my list from this week that I want to share with you, my friend Chris, who's vlogging over at Always Us. Check out him and Kirsten, his wife. They're great. I know some of you that have been watching my videos have also watched them, specifically Elise. Hi Elise, if you're watching this. Merry Christmas Eve. I hope you're well. She's been watching Always Us, Poffology, and she also came over to my channel. So that's fun. We're all friends, and so it's fun to have people now. And I think I saw Adam K around all three of our channels. So that's kind of fun, like seeing folks interact with all three of us. I actually would love to talk to Chris and Kirsten today, but I know that they are with family, so I might just text them. Okay, it's boiling, so in go the oranges. And these will boil until the skins kind of become translucent. This is gonna, oh my goodness, this is gonna make, that was really hot. This is gonna make my house smell so good. I might go ahead and do this other orange too while I'm at it, because why the heck not, you know? This is so pretty. I'm gonna have to show you into this bowl. This looks like a beautiful bowl of punch or something. I don't know actually if I will be able to do the other one because I want them all to be submerged and I want them to be overcrowded, so I better not be greedy. Better be happy with what I have. I think that the coldness of the oranges just dropped the temperature of the water really quickly. So I don't know if I could fit more in. I think I could, because the recipe called for 2 oranges and I used 2 cups of water and I used 6 cups, so that means I could do 6 oranges and I only have 5. I'm gonna slice this one up. Why not? Although I could have eaten this one for breakfast, but actually I have for breakfast, maybe I'll try this right now. I have, my friends gave me crumpets. I think you're supposed to put honey on them. Or jam. Yeah. I know you're not supposed to just eat them plain, but I just wanted to see what it tastes like. So, it kind of, you know what is weird? It reminds me of this thing I had in India. Which almost makes sense because of the British occupation. There was this really funny little girl in India who we were talking to, this little girl. She was sitting on her mom's lap. And, I mean, this is crazy though. Like, she was, I don't even remember what we were asking her about. My friend Kara was talking to her. And she was like, those nasty British people. Which, like, totally makes sense, you know? But she just kept going on. And obviously she didn't have a British accent. But, she was just like, wanted us to know how much she did not like British people. Which I totally get, you know? Because so much of their world was altered by the British occupation. And, you know, that's why that kind of thing is not good. It has lasting impacts. And now this little girl is being taught, and I think she made like some really mean face and made it like a kind of like a noise, like or something like that. That's what I think of them. She said something like that, and she was like 5. So that's why, you know, those sorts of things are bad, because now she's being raised with that in her heart, you know? Not that I really know that much about the British occupation in India, but I was there, so. These, just the clippings. Actually, you know what, I'm going to save these, and I'm going to chop them up a little more finely, and then what I will do you do this? Is this weird? I will fill my sink with hot water and let these sit in it for a long time, and then I'll run them down my garbage disposal, and it just kind of like makes the whole thing smell nice, and a way to freshen up the sink and the disposal. Did you just see me get shot in the face with that juice? Ugh. How rude. So I'm just giving these a rough chop, which, oh, they smell amazing. Orange peel. Oh, I love orange peel. Like dried orange peel. Do I have mine? I always get this at Walmart. Dried orange peel. And I love using that if I'm making like a roast, like a pork roast. I love putting some of that in with my spices. Just adds that sweet element. Last year around this time, I kept making this kale and Brussels sprout salad with roasted sweet potatoes. And I roasted the I would saute the sweet potatoes and cook them with orange peel. I wonder if I'm supposed to turn the water down. No, I think I keep them boiling. Oh, I should show you this. It's so pretty. Doop, 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 doop. I do not want to drop my phone into this. I have no idea if you can see this. Can you see this? Isn't that beautiful? So I would saute these sweet potatoes. I'll just go ahead and show you my clippings. That's going to go in the sink in warm water when I'm all done with some hot water. Did I just say that? And then I'll run it down the disposal and it'll smell so nice in the sink. Not that I'm going to stand around sniffing my sink. Do I need this knife for anything else? No. I need to text my friends and ask if they have breadcrumbs, because that's what I want to put on top of the green bean casserole. That one is not submerged, so that one needs to get down into the water. It's a thick peel. I don't know. I don't know if I'm doing this right, kids, to be honest. And my recipe is on my phone, so that's complicated. Because you're on my phone. So, I don't think she said, it was a video, I don't think she said to turn it down. But my instincts say that it shouldn't be this high, so I'm turning it down. I think I'm following I have this unfounded confidence in the kitchen that sometimes gets me in trouble, but if I'm being honest, most of the time, it serves me well. I don't have any reason to be as confident in the kitchen as I am, but I just follow my heart. What a Disney kid, am I right? So, in a way, I want to start my green bean sauce, but I don't really want the conflicting smell of creamy French onion with my beautiful orange smell. What was I talking about? Oh, that salad. So it was so good. I would roast Brussels sprouts and did I cook the kale? Maybe the kale was fresh, so it would be kale. And then I would do like chopped red peppers, chopped onion, pecans, and then I'd put on roasted Brussels sprouts, that sauteed sweet potato. They would I would cook it till it was kind of like just crumbly, crispy sweet potato pieces with caked in orange peel, and I put that on top, and then I would make a balsamic vinaigrette. It was one of the most satisfying salads I've ever had, which I know, but like no, that's healthy. Like it was healthy. It was very, very healthy. And I would that's the thing. I would cook the sweet potato. Hold on. I need to smell thyme and sage. I always get thyme and sage. I think I need more sage. Look at that. I can't remember. Probably sage. It's got to be sage, because that's what you use in... No, I think it's thyme. Maybe both. I would cook the sweet potatoes with either thyme or sage. Maybe both. And orange peel. Oh, it was amazing. I wish I had written... I never write down these things that I create, which is a bummer because, honestly, so good. But at least I recorded my orange peel recipe here. It was 6 cups of distilled water, 3 cups of sugar, half a cup of honey, 5 Cara oranges. Bring it to a boil. Add in your orange slices. And we're just going to keep cooking those. I actually have no idea how long this is going to take. It can't take that long, right? I wouldn't think. I kind of want to try more of this crumpet, but actually someone just gave me... I'll be back. Just enjoy the music! Here I come! One of the gifts that I just opened today is wild Maine blueberry jam. So that's what I'm going to put on my crumpet. I know I'm supposed to have tea with it, but I don't really want hot tea right now because I'm warm from being in the kitchen. Okay, here's a question for you. At what temperature do you keep your house if you live in a cold, wintry place? I know some of you, maybe like in California, you don't really... How cold does it get in winter in California? I'm sure it's different all over because California is huge. But I know some of you are from Southern California. What's it like there? What's the weather like right now? I know I've got some people out in at least one person out in New York State. What's it like there right now? I've only been to New York once. Did I say that before? But... Okay, I'm going to try this. So here's my crumpet. I'm putting some jam on it. Oh, yeah. Yeah. That's good. I like that. Okay, I'll be real. Let me be honest. That would be delicious with tea. I just don't think I want any. But I do want water. I just realized I haven't had any water yet today. Have I? Where's my cup? I must have had some water. No, I haven't. Who am I? What's happening? I've had no water yet today. It's 8:30 in the morning. Usually I start with a glass of water. I think it's because I just immediately called my mom. Because it was Christmas Eve. I called my mom early this morning. I was like, Mom, it's Christmas. She's like, it's Christmas Eve, Matthew. I was like, what? It's not Christmas? I just got a new water filter for my faucet. I'm very thankful to have clean water. Michael was talking about Flint in his vlog yesterday. And remembering Flint and all that they have gone through and are going through makes me once again really grateful for water. But my gratitude for clean water, clean, safe water began when I went to India. That is something I have taken for granted my whole life, is that I don't have to fear the water that's coming out of my faucet. And so I try to drink as much tap water as I can, because that's not a reality for everyone in the world, to have safe tap water. So I try to, I basically only ever drink tap water for the most part. If someone hands me a bottle of water, if I'm somewhere, I won't refuse it unless I have another way to get water. But anyway, my water is very hard here, and so I don't know, but I feel like I can feel it in me when I'm just drinking it normal. So I like to have a filter, and my other filter broke, which was a bummer. I felt when I threw that away, I was like, this is just so annoying. So I got a new one. So hopefully this one lasts a long time. Anyway. I wonder what's going on in here. Maybe I'll kind of like stir them around. Yeah, they're definitely, the peels are not translucent yet. So they're not done, that's for sure. But some of the really thin ones are just kind of like falling apart. So, but if I can't use every single one in here, that's okay. Yeah, some of them are really just falling apart. I don't know. This might be a disaster. But, only time will tell. Let's not get ahead of ourselves, people. Calm down, calm down. So I was talking about my house being cold. Yeah, I don't really keep my house very warm in the winter. I keep it set at 62. I live in a very, very big house, and it's just me. So it feels pointless to heat the whole house really warm. So I kind of keep it cool, 62. And if I'm up and moving, that's plenty warm for me anyway. But if I am just sitting still, I will probably get cold. So I have a few space heaters that I can run. Like if I'm at my computer, I have a space heater under my my computer table. And I can run that on my feet if I get cold. I run a little space heater in my room, because upstairs it's so drafty. It's an old house, it's not well insulated. So I will keep a little space heater running in the winter. It doesn't run all night, I just keep it so that it doesn't get... Basically, when I turn it on, it usually doesn't even come on. It just is there, so if it Well, like, I think tonight was the coldest. Okay, so this morning when I woke up, it was 10 degrees out. So that's cold. It was 10 degrees out today. I think that's the coldest it's been yet this year. I mean, this winter. I'm sure it was colder than that back in, like, January, February. But it's crazy. We haven't had a ton of snow yet. I know, Chris and Kirsten out in Ohio and Poff in Indiana, they got a bunch of snow. But that snow that came through, we got hit first, but it didn't do much here. So we passed it off. I passed it off to Poffology, and Poffology sent the snow on to Chris and Kirsten in Ohio. It's kind of fun. I never realized how we live. Boop, boop, boop. 3 states. That's cute. I wish they lived closer, or I wish I lived closer, I should say, to them. I just wish we were all closer. I miss them all. Merry Christmas. If you're watching. I'm sure you're probably watching after Christmas. So I know y'all got plans. I want to smell this. Oh, I should. Okay, so I should be telling you what I did. I'm just smelling my oranges and talking. Okay, so the first thing on my list that I did this week was Chris at Always Us. He can you believe this crazy kid? He nominated me for the Arby's French dip challenge. That's funny. Not really. He just said you should try it. So then I said I accept that challenge. So I took the Arby's French dip challenge, and all that is going to an Arby's and ordering a French dip and then eating it. I got the classic French dip, like regular. I don't know. You can get one that's like extra large with like half a pound of meat or something, but I was just like, no thank you. So I just got a regular one. Here's what I'll say. It tasted I have only been to Arby's a few times in my life. I have not been to Arby's a lot. So I'm by no means an Arby's expert. I had some professors in school. This is kind of weird. I had some professors in school who loved Arby's, and they would go to Arby's together. You know, they know much more about Arby's than I do, so I'll leave it to the professionals. But here's my amateur opinion. You know, I like Arby's roast beef sandwich just fine. The French dip, maybe this is wrong, tasted just like their normal roast beef sandwich, but the bread was shaped long. The special thing is you get a cup of au jus to dip in, but honestly, I just found myself dipping it in the Arby's sauce because I like that. So I used a little bit of the dip. So I don't know that I even really succeeded at the French dip challenge. I don't know, Chris, comment down below. Did I do it? Did I do it right? If so, here's my review. I honestly would rather just get a like beef and cheddar and dip it in Arby's sauce, because I do think Arby's sauce is unique and just very, very good. I also got some of their horsey sauce, which is like horseradish. And I was surprised that, like, I thought, oh, this is going to be so wimpy. And I was like, love some horseradish. So Poffology and I used to, when we lived in the same city going to school during grad school, I would go over to his apartment every Tuesday. Did I already talk about this? I don't know. What a Peter moment. We would have what we called Tasty Tuesdays. And on Tuesday, like late morning, he and I would go to Jewel and we would look at meat, and we would always buy like a steak or something like that. And we would buy potatoes to make baked potatoes, and we'd buy broccoli and usually like a baguette. And then we'd go back to his house because we both had like free time on Tuesdays, which is kind of weird. And we would cook it all. Oh, no one can make a steak like Poffology. I promise you that. Ooh, it seems that something's happening over here. They seem to be beginning, the peels are beginning to break down and maybe become a little translucent. I don't know. I'm going to let them go longer though. Maybe there's not enough sugar. Maybe like the sugar is what does that. I don't know. Do I panic and throw in another cup of sugar? Comment down below. Do I dare change my mind at this point? I kind of think I don't. Oh, it smells delicious. Oh, it made me hungry. I better take another bite of crumpet. I'll break it off and get this little bit of jam. You know what I could really go for right now is like biscuits and gravy and scrambled eggs. And a oh no, I started to say and a biscuit, and then I realized I was already having biscuits and gravy. Although I wouldn't put it past me to have a biscuit as a side with biscuits and gravy. Because then you can have biscuits and gravy and you can have a little jam on your biscuit, you know? What was I talking about? Arby's. So, yeah, thanks for nominating me for that challenge, Chris. Glad I accepted it. But yeah, that's my review. I think I'd rather just go for... Oh, I was talking about Tasty Tuesdays. So whenever Poff would make a steak, we would always get fresh ground horseradish. I don't know if I have any. I was going to show you, but I don't know. Anyway. We always get fresh ground horseradish and put that on our steak, and oh, that will just clean you out. That's good stuff. Let me look and see if I have any. Come with me. Let's see. I do. I have the stuff we used right here. It's so good. So I didn't even look at what it's called. It's called Farmer's Prepared Horseradish Old Fashioned Fresh Ground. No preservatives, gluten-free. Detroit, Michigan. Cool. So highly recommend that if you like some horseradish with your beef, which I just think, what is better than that? And what's more Christmassy than, honestly, what's more Christmassy than like prime rib and horseradish? Ugh. I mean, probably a lot of things. I'm not having prime rib, but oh goodness, do I wish I were. Someday maybe I'll tell you about when I learned to use the subjunctive mood, were instead of was, but not today. That's a story for another time. Another story for another vlog, am I right? Speaking of vlogs, I'm so happy more people are doing the Petermon Vlog Challenge. That just brings me so much joy. So, to all y'all PMVCers, way to go. Keep going. Hannah M, ShareBear14, Joe Whaletail. That's awesome. I'm behind on watching y'all's vlogs because, you know, it's a lot of content, and to be honest, I don't normally... I've spent more time on YouTube in the past 3 weeks than I probably have in my life. No, I'm just kidding. That's dramatic. But yeah, but I'm so enjoying it. Very, very fun. So I would recommend, personally, if I were going to get a beef sandwich from Arby's, I would just get the beef and cheddar and use Arby's sauce. No offense, Chris, but I'm glad you like that, that French dip. So that, now I nominate all of you to do the Arby's French dip challenge. Will you accept? Comment down below if you accept the challenge. I'm not paid by Arby's, so you can trust me. So I did that on the 17th. Why didn't I write down the days? How am I supposed to remember? The 16th would have been... What is today? Oh, today's the 24th. What was the 16th? Oh, that was Friday. Oh, so that was actually last Thursday that I did that. It was a week ago. Wow. So then Friday, I worked. Surprise. I worked last Friday. And then in the evening, I have a friend who was in a virtual Christmas play that was like live streaming on YouTube. So I watched that, and it was very good. She was great in it. It was very funny. So I did that, and actually before that, Chris and Kirsten hosted a virtual open mic night, and I had participated in that. You had to send in a video. So I watched that from 6 to 7, and 7 to 8 was the play that my friend was in. So it was kind of a Christmassy evening last Friday. It was like, oh wow, Christmas is almost here. There's all these Christmas things happening. And then the next morning, Saturday morning, it got even more Christmassy, because normally every year my mom and I would, as I've said before, would go to Chicago. And every once in a while, one of the things we do, whether I go with her or if I go with someone else, kind of one of my traditions has been to go to the Goodman Theater and see A Christmas Carol in Chicago. But I think the last 2 years I've missed, which I'm bummed about, because this year they're not doing it, obviously. Good news is they produced it as a radio play, like it's already probably a little over 2 hour play. It's not the longest, but they cut it down to 1 hour and 30 minutes, and it's on the website for free. So if you just Google search Goodman Theater or Christmas Carol, it'll be the first thing that comes up, and you just push play, and it's SoundCloud. You just listen for free, and it's very, very good. So if over the next couple, till the end of December, I think it's free to listen, and then it won't be available anymore after December. So you should check it out. So I listened to that, but I got on video call with my mom, and so I was here with my mom and had A Christmas Carol. I hope the music's not too loud. It'll be funny if you can't hear me at all. So had A Christmas Carol playing, and while that was playing, I was making cookies, and I was making my mom's monster cookie recipe, which I'll show you. This is my mom's monster cookie recipe. Just check out the amount of eggs. That is 12 eggs. Look how much oatmeal. 18 cups of oatmeal. So this is the biggest container that I have. So I actually mix it in this, and it literally, it almost overflows. It's this enormous, enormous cookie recipe. So I baked probably about almost half of it I baked. So I was baking all morning, just cookies. Let me show you. I have this thing full of cookies, and I made two others, not quite this big, but just about full of cookies. So I've got a ton of cookies. Obviously, I'm not going to eat all of those, so I've been sharing with my friends here in my neighborhood, and we'll make our way through them. But then the other half of the cookie dough, I put in a big container, filled that up. It's in the freezer, so in maybe a month or two, when I'm ooh, I should make cookies, then I can just pull that out, put it in the fridge for a day. It'll thaw, and then I can bake more cookies. I'm gonna hold up that recipe again. If you want to take a screenshot so you can make my mom's cookie recipe, that would be hilarious, and then comment down below if you like them. I will tell you what I do differently, which she doesn't know this. Shh. For the brown syrup, I just use maple syrup. So here's what I did. It calls for 4 cups white sugar, so I only used 3. Did I use 2 or 3? I think I used 3 cups white sugar instead of 4, and then I used I think 3 tablespoons of maple syrup, and I added in a tablespoon of honey. I also, so as you can see, it's got 1 pound chocolate chips, 1 pound M&Ms. I also use a pound of Reese's Pieces. I think that just makes them. So those are my alterations to the recipe. So if you haven't had enough Christmas cookies, these would actually, monster cookies would be great. They're not real Christmassy, I wouldn't say. They don't look Christmassy. I guess they kind of do. They kind of look like ornaments on a tree, maybe. Not the cookies themselves, but all of the colors of the items in them look kind of Christmassy, I suppose. One could argue. But I think they would be great for New Year's. So, That's the Cookie Monster Challenge. If you dare take it. How funny. So I made those, and that was really fun to listen to a Christmas carol while making cookies and video calling my mom. And then in the afternoon, I finished my audiobook. So I'll tell you about that now, because I had promised a long time ago that I would. Let me take some more water. This is Amy Grant. Oh, so good. Another would be like 80s probably. It sounds very 80s. So, not that I really know that much about the 80s. I wasn't alive yet. Isn't that crazy? How, like, kind of 80s obsessed popular culture is right now. I actually think popular culture is becoming more obsessed with the 90s right now. But there was a while where the 80s were very in. And I think they still are. I think they still are. Even, like, just aesthetically, obviously fashion has like, popular fashion has kind of moved back that way. Jeans, I was gonna buy jeans like a month ago, and I was like, wow, all of these jeans look like 90s jeans. Like, they're all the pant legs are widening again, which is crazy. That is mind-blowing. It's a cycle, people. But it just goes back to nostalgia, I think, and how nostalgia sells. If you didn't watch Poff's video where he was so kind as to talk about the economics of nostalgia, because I requested it, watch that one on Poffology. Yeah, I just think that nostalgia sells. So, anyway. What am I talking about? Who knows? Oh, my audiobook. So, I finished a book. This was a book that I didn't set out to read this book. I really didn't even think it through. I was at work. I knew I could be listening to an audiobook with the project I was doing. So I hopped on Scribd, because I recently subscribed to Scribd. I'm not sure how long I'll keep it, but it's nice. To be able to just, like, find stuff. So, I wanted to read something kind of, like, simple and quick, just because I didn't want to commit to a long book. I'm making a mess. So I was like, maybe I'll try a children's book, like a children's novel. So I found this book called King and the Dragonflies, and the cover stood out to me as just being exceptionally beautiful, which, I'll be honest, I do judge a book by its cover. I'm sure that you can understand that. Let me know. One of my coworkers, though, was talking about how she totally agrees. She definitely judges a book by its cover. But one time, someone was like, you have to read this book, and she gave it to her, and it was like, she said it was the ugliest book she'd ever seen, and she was dreading it. So she put it off for like 2 years or something. And so finally she read it, and she said it was one of the greatest books she's ever read. So she's like, I kind of learned my lesson, but the cover of the book greatly affects whether or not I read it. It totally does. I saw this book cover one time that I still haven't stopped, I have not stopped thinking about. It's the ugliest book I've ever seen. And I just don't understand. It has a picture of a dog, of a German Shepherd, growling, and it's got like this yellow filter, this neon yellow filter on it. It's hideous. It's hideous. I don't understand what makes you choose that. But anyway, it was a large print, so large print books publishing is just a weird thing to me. I don't understand why you don't just put the same cover on it and just put large print. So they're doing that more now, though, I've noticed. Maybe enough people have complained about how ugly the books are. So anyway, it's probably just the publishing house that decides. I don't know. I I might be doing this all wrong. I don't think I am. I think they do kind of fall apart. I'm kind of getting trigger happy, and I'm feeling like I'm going to put some more sugar in. Is that such a stupid idea? It probably is. Let's just see what happens, though. For real, what could possibly the consequences of this be? I'm putting in another half cup of sugar. This is probably a mistake. You saw it here, folks. Milky Way Matthew can't leave it alone. Is anyone surprised? No. The answer to that is no. No one's surprised. So now I'm going to just give these a little... I'm hoping the chocolate is not overly sweet, because I don't want them to be too sweet, but I also want them to be what... Just want these to be whatever they want to be, you know? Just be free, orange slices. Be who you are. But also, like, be tasty, you know? And isn't that just how the world works? Be whoever you are. Be yourself. As long as it benefits me. As long as it benefits the economy. What a skeptical thing to say on Christmas Eve. But, you know, I've read Christmas Carol twice this season, or listened to the audiobook, or no, I listened to the radio theater production. I just watched the movie. Ah! Spoiler alert, that's something else I did this week. Okay, so the book that I read, King of the Dragonflies. Did I already talk about this on the vlog? I might have. Anyway, I'll just give you my brief review. Really good. I do recommend, especially if you want to exercise in empathy. Very good. Great characters. Beautifully written. It's profound. I did feel like, and maybe this is just because it's a children's novel, I felt like the climax... I was like, oh, okay, that was all that was going to happen. I was expecting something more dramatic, I guess. But I'm kind of glad that it was what it was. I wouldn't change it for anything. But just because I didn't kind of give you a synopsis. Basically, the premise of it is, there is this 12-year-old boy in Louisiana who's black, and he lives with his parents, mom and his dad, and his older brother died. We find that out early on. And he's convinced that his older brother is a dragonfly. So there's that element of the story. But then also, there's a kid that was at school with him who was his best friend, but he told him that he couldn't, we find this out. I don't think this is a spoiler, really. We find, maybe it kind of is. If you want to read it, you'll still read it. So, his friend tells him that he's gay, and when he tells his older brother that, so this is like happened in the past, when he tells his older brother that, his older brother's like, oh, you shouldn't be friends with him, you don't want people to think you're gay. So he never talks to this kid again. Well, this boy goes missing, and so the plot then kind of becomes all centered around that, but also the main character, King, is kind of trying to figure out his own self and where he's at and all of that. So it's really good, and he's dealing with the grief of his. And I think one of the strong suits of the book is how it depicts family grief. My voice kind of just cracked, I think. So yeah, I would recommend, if you're looking for a brief read that is really, really beautiful, but will make you kind of practice some empathy. Yeah. So I do recommend it. It's good. So that's King of the Dragonflies. Then I also finished another book, which I actually forgot to write this in my notes, but I finished the Book of Joy, which is interview conversation between His Holiness the Dalai Lama and Archbishop Desmond Tutu from South Africa, who chaired the Forgiveness and Reconciliation Committee that Nelson Mandela, he like appointed him to chair that committee. So it's these two like religious world leaders talking about joy and suffering, and it's very good. I'd recommend that if you're at all interested in spirituality or anything like that. It's good. And just like maybe if you're just interested in finding peace, and if you have an open mind to hearing different people's ideas, it's beautiful to hear them go back and forth, a Buddhist and a Christian, and yeah, it was very good. I would highly recommend it. It was one of my friend's favorite books of the year. She read it and she like reread it, and I don't know if she read it maybe even a third time, and so she bought me a copy because she thought I would like it. So that was really nice. So I was like, I gotta get that done before the end of 2020. So I finished that. Glad I did. It was great. Actually, I kind of like I feel like a little sad that it's over. Which I started another audiobook at work on Tuesday, called Owls of the Eastern. What is it called? Maybe I'll have to Google it. Owls of the Eastern something. And it's about this guy. It's this guy's work. I really, really love nonfiction, and so it's this guy's. Okay, what interests me in this is one time I was going to go on a road trip a couple years ago, and I was like, I want to take some audiobooks. So I went to the library, and I was like, I'm just going to pick out a couple things. And one of them that I picked was a book called American Wolf. And I was like, I don't know. Okay. It was about the wolves of, oh my goodness, I just started feeling emotional about this. It was about the wolves of, why can't I say it? Yellowstone. Yeah. Is that right? I think so. It's about the wolves that live in Yellowstone. That doesn't sound right. Anyway, Google it. American Wolf. It was a beautiful book. I adored that book. I got so caught up in not only the wolves and how they're tracking these specific wolves. Oh my goodness. Oh, I loved that. It was so fun. But then I also, the people who like give their lives to that are in just it gives like all of the economics of that place and wolf control and like all of this. It's just a wonderful book, and the audiobook was great. And so I would say, like, of the ones I've mentioned today, I would probably recommend that equally as much as Book of Joy. I adored that book. I feel like these peels are just not going to become translucent, no matter how. Well, maybe they are starting to. Yeah, they're starting to. So they just need to go longer, I guess. So that kind of got me interested in. I just like remembering how much I enjoyed that book that was about nature and conservation. I was like, I want to like read more about that. So I found this book that just came out in October that's called Owls of the Eastern something. I can't remember what it is. And it's about this guy, this American who goes to Russia to to track and learn about fish owls, which are like the largest owls in the world, and they are really different than all other owls. And in fact, like it says like when he first spotted one, and he said it looked like a small bear with feathers. Like, they're huge. which I have like looked up pictures because I kind of want to. I want to just let the book tell me what they look like until maybe afterwards I'll look them up and look at pictures. But anyway, there's like a drawing of one on the cover, but I'm definitely going to read that book. I just don't know if I actually should start it right now. We'll see. So I might. I know that I was only listening at like 60% for the first few chapters while I was at work, so I kind of feel like I want to go back. But it was already making me laugh. It's really well written, and the guy who wrote it is reading it, and he's doing a great job. Sometimes that's like, but he's doing a great job. So I'm like, okay, this is fun. I think it's going to be a really, really fun, and I think probably will end up being kind of heartwarming and touching. So, man, I wish I could remember the rest of that title. Owls of the Eastern something. But it takes place in, I'm not going to be able to remember how to say it. This is so embarrassing. Peoria? Peoria? I'm not saying that right. It's a Russian city that's right kind of where China, North Korea, and Russia converge. I'm just like, this is fascinating. Peoria. I can't say it. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. So, anyway, so then that was Saturday. I finished my audiobook. Really enjoyed it. Sunday, I got up early and I watched Mickey Mouse cartoons. I know I talked about those on the vlog, so I won't talk about longer, but love Mickey Mouse. And had breakfast. And then I had to run the rest of my gas out of my lawnmower, which is something I never knew you were supposed to do. But then, like, this year, like, a bunch of people were like, oh, yeah, you're supposed to run all the gas out of your lawnmower at the end of the year. So I went out there and I tied the string around the throttle. Throttle? Yeah, I don't know. Whatever, like, keeps the gas going. And that ran for, I must have recently filled it because it ran for, like, probably an hour and a half. And so that's ready for winter. And then I listened to more of the Book of Joy. And I also read another thing by the Dalai Lama that day. I got a book from the library, a children's book called Seeds of Compassion. That's like an illustrated book about his life as a child, which I really want to watch. There's a Martin Scorsese movie, which I adore Martin Scorsese's films. Like, love them. Even the ones that aren't my favorite, I still have a great affection for them. And he has a book, a movie called, what is it? Kundan? I don't know. But it's about the Dalai Lama's life, which is fascinating. He was chosen at like the age of 3 or 4, is it? They identified that he was the reincarnation of the Dalai Lama, and so shortly thereafter he's moved to away from his little village to be raised in a school so he can become their political and spiritual leader. And at age 15 he becomes the political leader of Tibet. Well, then China starts oppressing them, and so he literally, as a teenager, he leads an exile out of Tibet into India, where he's lived the rest of his life. And he's now in his 80s. Anyhow, so this is a little children's book. It didn't go into all of the exile stuff, but it was just talking about how his mother kind of planted seeds of compassion in him, and it's beautiful. So anyway, I want to watch that Scorsese film in the near future. I actually wouldn't mind it if that was I kind of like being really choosy about what the last movie of the year that I watch is and the first movie of the year. I wouldn't mind if that was the first movie in 2021 that I watched. So maybe I'll try to orchestrate that. So I want to watch it with a couple of my friends in my neighborhood. So, are these? I think these are kind of becoming tender. The peel's They're starting to look somewhat translucent, and I just don't want them to be tough, you know? You don't want to eat a tough orange peel. Well, we'll go a little bit longer, but I think they're getting close. It's definitely, the water's definitely reduced. I bet the ones that are like at the bottom are like really, yeah, those are done, I'm sure. But now I see why they're going to need to dry. So that's kind of a bummer. So I might have to make them tomorrow. I might have to cover them in chocolate tomorrow. I don't know if you could hear me over the music and the boiling, but anyhow. So I read that, Seeds of Compassion. Oh, this is funny. So on Sunday afternoon, I was taking my Vespa to storage for the winter at a place here in town where I could store it for free. And just because I don't want to winterize it, so it's just going to be kept at like 55 degrees, so it won't get too cold for it. So, and then I'll go every couple of weeks and start it just to keep it running. Okay, so this is funny though. It was cold on Sunday, and I was like, wow, I should have taken this so much sooner, because even when it's like 60 degrees, it's too cold to ride the Vespa. So it was like it was in the high 30s, and I'm like, this is going to be miserable. So I had a sweatshirt on, and I put on my coat, and I put on a hat, and then I put on my helmet, and I couldn't find my gloves. And then I was like, oh, Poffology. So I put socks, I used socks as gloves. I thought that was hilarious. If you didn't see the one where he was walking around downtown Indy with socks as gloves, that was cracking me up, especially knowing him. Like, that is so funny. I love that. And then Chris ended up using socks for gloves, and he talked about that in one of his vlogs, I think. So I was like, you know what? I can't find my gloves. I'm just going to use socks as gloves. And so I literally drove my Vespa in the winter with socks on my hands. But I had to keep my thumbs out so I could have a grip on the handle, you know? So my thumbs were really cold. It took me like probably 20 minutes to warm up after that. And it's only like half a mile away. But it was very cold. Then in the evening, I had one of my friends from my neighborhood over, and he and I watched The Thin Red Line, which is a Terrence Malick film. And I think Terrence Malick is supremely underrated. Now, I don't think there's anyone who knows Terrence Malick who... Okay, I'm sure there are people who know Terrence Malick that don't like him. I don't think that he's underrated in that, like, people who know him don't give him enough credit. I just don't think he's widely known enough. And it's maybe because his stuff isn't for everyone. If you're still watching, Merry Christmas Eve. Comment down below, crumpet, if you're still watching, because I'm just ranting at this point. But, yeah, it was a great film. 1998, war film. Just, it's profound. It's beautiful. And I was watching the Criterion Collection print. And at the beginning it comes up and it says, Mr. Malick recommends this movie be watched loud. So I cranked up the surround sound. I had the big screen on. It was awesome. It was awesome. So highly recommend it. It's very brutal. So if that's not for you, don't watch it. But as far as war movies go, I think it's probably one of my favorites. It would be tied up there with... I mean, I feel like up to this point, maybe Full Metal Jacket was my favorite. But this might have taken its place. I mean, it's profound. It's gorgeous. I mean, the word that gets used to describe it a lot is like philosophical, which is all of Terrence Malick's stuff. I mean, I've only seen one of his others, but let's be real. We know that's his thing. But yeah, great. So highly recommend. Then Monday, just give you a brief synopsis of Monday. And I'm not going to go day by day, I don't think. But Monday, I did writing, did yoga, had dinner. Just great Monday, very relaxing. And then at the end of the day, I watched the last episode of The Mandalorian on Monday. Wow. I'm not going to say anything that happens in case you haven't seen it. But I will say I thoroughly enjoyed it. I'm nervous about season 3 stuff. Like, is it happening? Is season 3 going to be something different? Because there's some different rumors going around about that. And I'm just uncomfortable with certain ideas. I take my Star Wars very seriously, so I get very nervous about things like this. Then I think I only have 2 other things to share off of what I did this week. I had a calzone, which I never have calzones, so that was weird. I had a calzone. It actually wasn't very good. I think calzones have the potential to be good. This one was severely underbaked, and it was very, very soggy. So I was kind of bummed. I was like, "Ooh, I'm gonna have a calzone." I was very excited. It was fine. And then, last but not least, I watched A Christmas Carol, the Disney animated Christmas Carol where Jim Carrey plays Scrooge and all 3 spirits, and I really enjoyed it. I remember I saw it in the theaters when it first came out, and I would have been a kid or maybe a young teenager. I don't know what year it came out. Yeah, probably a young teenager. And I remember not really caring for it, but I realize now, having read the book for the first time this year and having read it twice, that it's actually it makes use of some source material from the book that most adaptations don't. But then it also gets caught up. I think what takes me out of it is you can tell the animation is groundbreaking, but also animation today just looks so much better. This kind of looked like, I kept thinking, this is pre-Viz. Anyway, it's still impressive, and there are a few points where the animation's really, really great. But it gets caught up, I think, in these action sequences because they're trying to make use of the 3D, and I think that actually hinders the story for me, especially in the last third of the film. There's a long sequence that's action oriented, and I don't know why it's there, and I don't really get it, and it takes me out of the emotional beats of the film because some of the choices they made, which I would love to watch that with commentary on, if there was an audio commentary with the director to say this is why we did this. I'd love to hear what that means for the director who wrote it, because it's not Dickens. So anyway, I also think what takes me out of it in that adaptation is Jim Carrey playing 4 different characters, and you can still, 3, because one spirit isn't, doesn't speak, doesn't have a face. So 3 characters, and you really, for me, it's just I'm looking at 2 characters with Jim Carrey's face in this moment. So that kind of takes me out of it. I wish they would have just cast other people. But it was still very enjoyable. Glad I watched it again, because I definitely did not appreciate it as much as I think it deserves when it first came out. So I think these orange peels are ready. I think they're ready. I did not expect them to take that long, I'm going to be honest. But I certainly had things to chat about, didn't I? So I'm going to start taking these out of the sugar bath, and I'm putting them on. You're supposed to use a wire cooling rack. I don't have one, so I'm just putting them on these 2 stones, and I hope that works. And I hope that they're done. They look beautiful, but they're pretty. They are cooked, let me tell you that. I didn't see any seeds. Are these seedless? Are all oranges seedless? Am I losing my mind? Comment down below. Let me know. What's your opinion? Are oranges seedless? I think that's a hilarious idea. Having an opinion about whether or not oranges are seedless. It's just something that you don't need to have an opinion about, because it's a fact. I just don't know what the answer is. Tickle. My throat. That's a seed right there. How funny. I didn't see that when I was cutting them. Maybe I was just really focused on chatting. See, some of these are definitely not quite done, but maybe it'll be fine once they dry. Town. Santa. Yeah. So I hope you have a very Merry Christmas. I know this is a really hard year in general, and then the holidays just kind of amplify that, don't they? So if you find yourself in a place where you're just really sad, just want you to know it's okay to feel that, and you don't need to, certainly don't need to feel bad for feeling what you feel. Let yourself feel it. And if someone's telling you not to feel it, nobody's got time for that. So don't listen to them. What do they know? This one's particularly beautiful. Yeah. I will definitely miss being with my mom tomorrow and tonight. We always watch Christmas Eve. We always watch White Christmas on Christmas Eve. It's the first year of my life that I'm not doing that with my mom. So that feels weird. And I don't really know. You know what this song is? Hold on. I have to go check. I think this is... Yeah, this is Backstreet Boys. They have one Christmas song. This is Backstreet Boys. And it's great. I think this is great. And it makes me realize how much... And maybe this is controversial because I don't really know anything. I don't really know what I'm talking about. But every time I hear that song, it comes up on this playlist, I think that it's the Jonas Brothers. And it makes me realize how much the Jonas Brothers sound like the Backstreet Boys. And maybe that's wrong. Maybe people know better than me and would be able to say, no, not at all. I don't know. So, you know what? I don't think that was a seed that I had found. No, it was. There's just like not many. Or maybe they're all there. Yeah, maybe they... Hold on. Let's seed. Oh, that's not a seed. Neither is that. That's so weird. These are seedless. Who knew? Have you ever made chocolate-covered oranges before? I have not. This is my first time. If these turn out well, there's a very good chance this will become a tradition for me because I love traditions, which makes, you know what that makes me think of? Olaf in his Christmas special that came out before, that they played before Coco. Remember that when we all went to the movies to see Coco? Was it Coco? I think it was. That doesn't make sense because that was Pixar. Who cares? We all went to the movie theater to see Coco one year. Me and my friends on like the day after Thanksgiving or something. Or maybe 2 days after Thanksgiving. But remember, everybody was like, Coco, and we all went and saw Coco, which is a brilliant, gorgeous film. But we're like, oh yeah, we're going to get this little Olaf short. And it ended up being like 25 minutes. What a bold move. Everyone was like, I remember everyone was kind of annoyed that it was that long. I was like, oh, I mean, it's fun. Anyway, Olaf's trying to find the Christmas traditions, holiday traditions. And my friend Aaron, who I was with, he just latched onto that and had this recurring joke. It was so funny where he'd be like, everyone, we gotta go find their traditions. It was so funny. Aaron, if you're watching this, that's still making me laugh, these 4 years later. So, that was hilarious. Probably 5 years later. Maybe not that long. Anyway, so, the oranges are out. I can show you them if you want to see them. Boop-a-doop-a-doo. Look how pretty. Look how pretty. Let me get like a nice tracking shot here. Hilarious. So those are my oranges. I'm going to let those dry until tomorrow, and then I will cover half of them. I actually might do all, I'm probably going to, because I'm realizing now this is a lot of chocolate. I'm going to go all dark chocolate. I'll use that milk chocolate for something else. So I will melt up this dark chocolate. Then I will drizzle it over those after they dry out and get sticky and tacky. And yeah, so those are going to be such a nice little holiday treat. And they might become my newest tradition. So thank you so much for watching. If you watched this far, you are just a saint among mortals. I hope you have a very Merry Christmas. I will check in with you next week, and I'm looking forward to that as well. And I might be doing the chocolate pudding challenge, which I'll share about, but we'll see. So, if no one's told you this today, you are loved. You are worthy of a big full breath. You're worthy of a sigh. You're worthy of keeping your shoulders down away from your ears. You're worthy of staying hydrated. You're worthy of rest. And you're worthy of experiencing all those things as a reminder that you are loved. I hope you have a chance to practice some of those things today. I hope that you feel loved and know that you're loved. And if nothing else, know that I love you. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.